My name's Will. I met JD through, what was it, Marketplace we met, I think? Yeah, Marketplace. I bought some tin from him. Roofing. And yeah, we just started hanging out, and we're got a similar sort of mindset, like hustle, you know? Like try to save money, find stuff that's inexpensive.
Live a simple life.
Live a simple life. You know, anything you can do to save some money, you know, not work a 9 to 5, do the everyday hustle so that, you know, you can live by society standards, you know? So we're gonna start a little vlog or a TikTok, whatever you want to call it. This is the intro.
So, about 2 weeks ago, I saw this ad on Facebook. It was quarter-acre lot for sale in the Dalles for $1,500. A bunch of people responded to this ad. I know this because I went to the city hall to see if it was a legit ad and if the people who actually owned it.
That's smart.
And when I got to city hall, they said that they had 5 other people in the last week come in and ask about this same lot to see if it was a for real thing. Also to see what are the limitations to what you can do here, right?
Wow.
You can put a cell tower, you can, you know, put camping spots, you can do whatever you want on your land, provided that you get along with the neighbors good enough, right? And there's not a lot of trouble. This spot has virtually no close neighbors. We have a cliff on this side, which provides privacy. They're not going to get any trouble from us, right? We're not going to make noise, they're not going to see us, they're not going to see our tents. And the nearest neighbor down there, their view goes that way.
Yeah,
we're not obstructing them in any way.
Right.
So I don't anticipate a lot of trouble with neighbors. This is 2024, and this lot is paid for, owned for $730. There's still good deals out there. You just have to be willing to take a little bit of a risk. We bought this land from a company that was worried about erosion coming onto the road down there. So they got rid of it at the cheapest cost to get it off their books. As a personal investor, I can afford to take that risk, because if it does mess up on the road, I'll fix it myself. For now, we're looking over to see if there's any flat spots that we can use to put a small tiny house or some yurts on, or something that's someone could live on. The goal here is to get out of the rat race. Even if you win the rat race, you're still a rat. I want to get out. I want to have the least amount of rent and bills that I can and still live comfortable. Right? This enables you to have a place to live. Say you invest $5,000 into a small cabin or a yurt, you pay $50 a year in land taxes and you live for free. But to do that, you have to take land that isn't as desirable. It'd be nice to get a nice flat lot. It'd be nice to have a place you can park your cars and your junk. This is just a place to live simple. So let's see what the land looks like as we walk around. This here's a nice flat spot. I'll mention there's plenty of poison oak.
Yeah, we came at a good time. But you can still get it when it's not green, right?
Oh yeah, see my legs? I got it from the last time I was here.
Really?
Yes, I did. Except I didn't have my shoes, I didn't have my socks tucked in, and it got up into my pants a little bit, and I got poison oak last time I was here. I'm almost over it, but all this has to get cut down because poison oak is just not something you want to live with.
No.
Right? It's also a reason that this place is so cheap.
Right.
If you want to get something that's cheap, you have to make some compromises. So we're back at our quarter-acre lot. This is the reason the land is so cheap. There's no access across our land to get to the upper areas that have some flat spots. We have to create a trail, right? And that's what we're here to do today. We're gonna come from right over here and make an angled spot that comes up to these rocks, where we're gonna create a platform. Even worse than that, we don't even have a place to put the dirt down here. We have to take the dirt and put it into pots and take it away, everything that we built here. From this spot, we've got to get up another 5 feet up onto the flat. So today only, I think we're just gonna try to get from here across to the flat spot. That's our project for the day.
Right.
Once you have foot access to this land, it becomes a lot more valuable. Up until now, we've had to walk all the way down to that fence post about 80 yards away and go across the neighbor's land to get to the top, so we could actually walk on the land that we've purchased. Most people consider this wasteland, consider this useless, not worth anything. Only if you want to live a simple life and not try to make a bunch of money or make a spec home to live on. That being said, if you were an ambitious person and wanted to be in the rat race, you could definitely invest $5,000 and rent out a yurt up here. People can park right here on the road, they hike up the trail, and you make $700 a month every month of passive income if you wanted to put the energy in. I wouldn't want to do that because of the risk of landslide as well, and because I don't trust people not to accidentally hurt themselves climbing up your trail and sue you for the yurt and the land that they then own. Much better to just live a simple life, have your flat spot that your own tent or your own yurt or your own tiny house is on, and live without having someone on your neck all the time to pay that rent, to push you. You work when you want to work, and anything you make goes in your pocket. The vast majority of Americans spend 2 to 3 weeks of their work every month on rent or mortgage payments, and that includes house insurance and flood insurance. None of this is required if you live simple. So what other people consider trash and a dangerous investment, a simple liver can turn into a life.
We're breaking ground.
We're starting the trail. It's going to go straight along these posts here. I don't know if you can see them in this light. To this rock where we're going to have a landing pad. Still working. These are the pots that are going to go to take the dirt away from here in. We don't have much place to put the earth to leave it here. So everything we dig off of this hillside, mostly, will have to come with us. This is the juniper post that we'll use as a brace at the end to climb the last bit. These are fence posts that will go as retaining walls up higher to make flat spots.
Nice trail building.
Thank you so
Hey.
much. It's a nice day for working.
Yeah.
It's
Is it going all the
lovely
way up?
We're gonna go all the way up. We just bought this quarter acre.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. So
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you so much. We love it. It's beautiful here.
Are you going to build there?
We're gonna put a tent and come hang out in the summer sometimes.
Ah,
It's steep. I don't know if you've been on it. It's really
no,
steep.
freaking steep.
Yeah. All right, we're talking about working with the neighbors and getting permission without having an easement, just a 1 weekend permission to bring an excavator across this relatively flat spot from here to the neighbor's house. It would be easy for us to cut in here with the excavator, take out a few very small oaks, and we could reach down and make a nice retaining wall terrace step here to help the road not wash it, no, help the hillside not wash into the road. All right. Now, Will says it's too dangerous because the excavator could destabilize the hillside and the whole thing goes crashing down with you in it, right? And that's $30,000 bill plus possibly your life. You'd likely just get banged up, you know, because the excavator's got a good cage. They got a good cage on them. He says it's not worth the risk. I say this hillside is compacted gravel and sandstone. It's all I can do with a pickaxe to cut into it. With the established rock underneath. Very solid. And I would like to have a flat spot here, terrace, to make it so that the landslide's a lot less likely. It takes a bunch of weight off of that lip, which I would love to do. The only way we can do that is if we get permission without an easement just for the weekend to run an excavator. We have to go across the neighbor's property and to get to our property. Will says he doesn't think they'll be on board because they don't want him. He doesn't want us to develop this piece of land because we're stealing his privacy, right? That's why he wouldn't want it.
And or people don't like to see people killing it, like on the terms that you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
They don't like seeing that because maybe they've worked in a factory their whole life.
Oh, a whole other perspective. He's talking about jealousy and envy. How come you're getting a nice quarter acre property with very little in when he had to work 30 years to pay for their place just next door? So he thinks envy would be the bigger thing, and I say stealing of their privacy is what would be the bigger thing. They don't want to have to
both.
pee. He says both. I think both too. And I'm personally blind to jealousy. I don't have it. I don't experience it, and it blindsides me all the time. I don't expect it, and so I really appreciate when someone says, like Will here.
I have experienced it
I've experienced it a lot, but it always blindsides me. I still don't get it. I don't have it in me.
Kind of barely noticeable.
It looks really nice.
All bueno.
3.5 hours of work today.
Right.
Let's keep track of our time spent.
Right.
I like hanging out with you, Will, because you're actually looking around and trying to be awake, trying to see the world, trying to get over bitterness.
Totally.
When I look out there, I see zombies.
Yeah.
I see unhappy people everywhere. What do you think about that? I mean, you say live a life of passion. I don't feel like I have much passion, but you say I do. What does that mean? What do you see when you say that? What does passion look like to you and other people?
You got energy. You're like alive. You just seem stoked that you're alive, you know?
Hey, what does that look like in action? Because is that just talk? I see these YouTubers all the time who talk, but they don't do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, they have this YouTube channel that they're just doing their first impressions of a Rage Against the Machine song. They've never heard one before, so they're just gonna see it for the first time.
Yeah.
They have this appearance of being excited about it, but I don't see them being alive. They seem like they're just going through the motions of an experience.
Dude, honestly, I think that a lot of people are either intimidated or it just makes them kind of uncomfortable getting around people with so much energy and passion like you have. That, like, to your everyday Joe that's sitting behind the computer watching a video, it makes them feel more normal just watching somebody that's just kind of like, yep, I'm just doing this and that. I'm not that fired up. It makes them, they're like, oh, I like this. This guy is just normal. He's like me, you know? Yeah, it's safe, right.
Also, being passionate about and standing up for any view puts you on the firing line.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter what the view is.
Exactly.
If you stand your ground on anything, you're alienating other people who don't necessarily even believe in what they just don't like you standing up.
Right.
They want to fight. They just want to fight about anything.
Yes.
Doesn't matter what the view is. They just want to fight. I think they're unhappy with their dad being mean to them, with their boss telling them what to do, with the landlord telling them to take their trash out, and they don't get to fight against them because they got power over them.
So they fight.
So they don't fight. They transfer.
Oh, right.
So now there's this guy or girl who's passionate and even happy to be alive.
Right.
And this person, they can attack.
Right.
Best
Through comments on the internet.
On Facebook, on the internet.
Right.
Or
where they can hide.
And be justified in their kill because
there's a bunch of other people out there that are just like them.
Look at their hate too.
Yeah, that like get on their side.
No different than road rage.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I'll be driving, I'm going 60 miles an hour down the roads right now, and someone will pass me and be like, "God, go speed up, what are you slowing the driving down for?"
Right.
They're mad about something else.
Right.
That they're unhappy with in their life.
I experience it with myself.
And even myself.
I get road rage.
If I get road rage, it's because I'm late for work or because I'm doing something.
Right.
And I'm transferring my hate onto them. Because, man, I cut people off sometimes, and I'm genuinely sorry.
Right.
So how come I can't just believe if that guy accidentally cut me off, that they're not genuinely sorry? Because I'm looking for a righteous kill out of transference. I'm unhappy in my life because I worked too hard, I'm tired for some reason, I'm dissatisfied, and it's their fault. It's the Democrats' fault, it's the Republicans' fault. Whoever, it's their reason I'm unhappy. Instead of saying, look, I'm choosing to stretch myself too thin. I'm trying to choose to have too big of a house, or too nice of a car that's too big of a car payment, or too high maintenance of a partnership that just isn't working for me. And instead of changing my lifestyle to a more easy relationship, to a simple house situation, I am angry at you for my life being unhappy.
Right. I've never heard it put like that, man. That's brilliant.
Transference,
dude. Yep. I think you're spot on.
Yeah. And definitely there's some fight or flight. People are barely making their rent. They're barely making their day every day. And that puts you into a flight situation.
Right.
Because if you're panicking, you're not going to make the rent. You got to do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes that means taking it from somebody else, taking their job, taking their girlfriend or boyfriend, taking whatever you can.
Taking their happiness.
Their happiness, their center, trying to knock them off the center so that at least they're doing the same thing, right? In third world countries, they call this crab mentality.
Huh.
I'm unhappy and I want you to be unhappy too.
Yeah.
And we're getting that way more and more in this country.
Right.
It used to be I'd see someone start a little business and make something for themselves. I'd be like, dude, they're making $100,000 a year, barely, making tea bags that are stainless steel. Good for them.
Right.
That's great. That inspires me to do it.
Yeah.
More and more, I see them and I say, they're making tea bags and making $100,000 a year, and I'm busting my hump all the time. That sucks. You know what I mean? You want to have courage? Real people that aren't lazy, lazy people, go to a job every day. Lazy people, just get that 40 hours and come home exhausted. And it's not 40 because you got to get up an hour earlier. You got to get home and you're tired when you get home. You drink beer. Lazy people, go to that 40-hour week every day and just submit. Real passionate people, try. And you know what? My business failed. Guess what? I'm going to try again. And I might be living on a trailer on the side of the road for a while because I can't afford that McMansion. But I'm not going to try to until I have the money to do it. Instead of going and getting the thing I can't afford on a huge debt mortgage, on a huge payment, and trying to run on the treadmill to keep up with that. Real passionate people get it first and live simple until then.
Right.
Slaves go to work 40 hours a week and just say yes. And you know what? It's easier to be a slave.
Absolutely.
It's easier to just get in a rut, get in a routine, do what you're told every day. But it costs you everything that's important. Your spark in your eye, your life, your enthusiasm for being here in the world.
Right.
And even though it's easy, it's too much.
Right.
All right. I'm tired, fool.
All right.